Hello and welcome to Asian Petrolhead. Today let's test drive 2019 Genesis G70 with 3D gauge cluster. And before we begin, please support us by subscribing to our channel. Thank you. We're greeting you from South Korea, and in December it could be quite freezing. So we're gonna drive first this morning and wait for the temperature to build up. And if you cannot wait for our design part, please refer to the clip which we uploaded a few weeks ago. Now let's go drive. I always been reading MotorTrend magazine since I was a kid, and this year I was very surprised to see that Genesis G70 winning the car of the year from the MotorTrend magazine. What a nice surprise. Congratulations, Genesis. So let's get back to business. Today we're driving twin turbocharged V6 with H-Track. For 2019 year model, Genesis have added limited slip differential for 3.3 T's with H-Track. So let's see if it handles any better in a bit. Let's get the numbers out of the way first. The twin turbocharged V6, also found in Kia Stinger and even on Genesis G80, makes about 370 horsepower and 52 kilogram per meter of torque, and it is made it to 8-speed automatic, and our tester even has H-Track. So let me show you how fast G70 go. It took Genesis G70 about 5.1 seconds to reach 100 kilometers per hour. With launch control, it is very quick, and it is very happy to be revved. I like it. With twin turbocharged V6 and H-Track, Genesis G70 is not light. It's weighing about 1,700 kilograms and is wrapped around with Michelin summer tires. Now let's check out the braking performance of G70. Unfortunately, we could not measure the braking performance of G70 because of all the calcium chloride they put on the road. It's very slippery today. Now before we do any more driving, I want to show you this 12.3 3D gauge cluster. It's a new feature just have been added in Korea. I don't know when Genesis will start applying this new feature globally, but let me just show you what it's like. The 12.3-inch gauge cluster looks quite massive in person, and down here there's two red sensors detecting your movement. So actually you don't need any glasses for this 3D system to work. Cameras do not pick up everything, so let me just show you this outro and intro. Hope that you can see the difference even just a bit. The gauge cluster can be adjusted in conjunction with the drive modes. Let me show you each of them. This is Smart, Eco, Comfort, Sports, and Custom. One more time. Gotta go back. This is Smart, Eco, Comfort, Sports, and Custom. Guys, let me know which one you guys like the best. I wish I can show you the changes in person because cameras cannot pick up everything, but you know, it's subtle changes, not as big as movie theaters. Now let's get back to the road. Let's talk about visibility first. Just like any other Hyundai or Genesis model, it's got big windows all around and side mirrors are big enough too, so it's easy to see out of. And you know, it's about 12 inches shorter compared to its big brother, Genesis G80. So it's not only easy to drive, but it feels very agile. These seats do have these red stitchings, very bold design I think, and as for the size, I'm 6'2" and feels quite comfortable and supportive, but not too tight that hurts my back. And these seats go down very, very low, so if you have any passengers behind you, please give them some room for their feet. There are 3 big buttons for climate control systems, and these physical buttons and dials for media control is easy to use even while driving. 8-inch floating navigation screen can be also operated by touching, so it's very convenient. And it also displays surround view of the car. It uses 4 high-definition cameras, so it will definitely help you out on tight spots. Just below the gear selector, there's drive mode selector. Let's put the car in sports and drive. Let's talk about engine first. This twin turbocharged V6 is a lovely engine. It not only produces 370 horsepower, but its peak torque starts as early as 1300 RPM and stays flat until 45. So you have plenty power for your daily driving and sports driving. Engine is plenty powerful, but because it is still a Genesis, it feels very smooth and quiet on comfort mode. Engine is mated to 8-speed automatic, made in-house. It's probably not as fast as ZF 8-speed automatic, but I would say it's very, very close. It does come with pedal shifter, so you can manually shift yourself, and it shifts pretty quickly. And as for the ride, Genesis G70s have adaptive suspension, so it will change according to the drive modes you select. Change is noticeable, but I wish it was just a little bit stiffer when you change it to sports mode. The steering even has a variable gear ratio, so it feels weighted on first few angles, but it feels light on big steering angle changes. Seems like Brembos are holding up pretty nicely, and for 2019 year model, Genesis have added limited slip differential for 3.3Ts with H-Track, and I must say it really does improve handling of the car. Now let's check out the efficiency of 2019 Genesis G70. G70 returned 8.1 kilometers per liter in the city and 13.8 kilometers per liter on the highway, so all the torque does have negative effect on the fuel economy. Why don't we check out the exterior design of Genesis G70. No particular changes have made to the front. Typical Genesis grille in the center and full LED system. Still a handsome Genesis. Boomer and garnish on this side, and for 2019 year model, Genesis have added this 19-inch dark rims. I know you guys already had this in your country, but other than that, no changes can be found from the side. Rear design remains the same, but for 2019 year model, Genesis have added this power trunk. I wonder why they did not have it at their first place, but guess they do now. The trunk space is not so big, so if you want bigger trunk space and second row seats, I suggest you move up to Genesis G70. Down here there's some storage area, fix-a-flat kit, and battery for weight distribution purposes. Oh, this guy's got it. Okay. Today we test drove 2019 Genesis G70, and we'll be back with more car reviews. And before you leave, please support us by subscribing to our channel. Thank you. 2019 year model, Genesis have added limited slip differential for 3.3 T's with H-drag. So let's see if it handles any better in a bit. Because we have some snow, let me show you the LSD and perhaps H-drag working. I want to show you a few more stuff. In the vehicle setup, you can choose your drive modes, each of them. And then there's active engine sound. We put it in minimize because even normal is too loud for me. And coasting, you can choose whether to decouple your transmission while coasting or not. We checked on coasting for better MPG. And lastly, there's smart posture care. Set how tall you are and seated height and weight, and it will just recommend you a best sitting posture for you. But to be honest, it's not that comfortable for me.